Hi Leo, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Leo, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So let's have a look, see. Obviously doing things a little bit differently this week. I'm so sorry that they're late. It's just been a bit of an interesting time for me, so my apologies for that. So let's get straight into it. For your actions and options this week, you have the Ace of Pentacles. So for some of you, this is the week where you decide to start looking for a new job. This is where you are ready for more money, maybe for a different set of responsibilities. And for a lot of you, I think this is going to be the week where you finally start to really seriously knuckle down on finding a new home, on finding a new place to live, on finding just a place that feels more conducive to what it is that you're trying to produce or to create in your life. Now, the Ace of Pentacles is always very practical in nature, and very often it sees us paying attention to or rededicating our energies to our material existence. Where is it that things have slowed down for you? Where is it that things have been challenging? Is it with your finances and your money? Is it with your work? Is it with your home? Like this week, the places that you have been lacking or lagging, let's say, this is where you're going to redouble your efforts. This is, I think, in a lot of ways, you know, I can speak for myself. I'm a Leo ascendant, and I have to say, this last 3 weeks, I don't even have words. I really don't. And you know, that's without the fact that just prior to that, I had 3 family members die within the space of 48 hours. So I can tell you it's been a time of it, right? But what I can tell you is this week you are going to be cracking down, knuckling down, and I think this week, this is where Leos are about to get serious. And this is the thing, you know, Leo's is jovial, it's warm and fun and vibrant and all the rest of it, but when they get serious, shit gets serious. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think this week, this is where we're going to redouble our efforts to get everything back into some sort of semblance of normality and personal alignment. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Two of Swords. Pay attention to what comes up when it comes to those intuitive nudges this week. So if you have a hunch about something during a conversation, after a conversation, this would be a week to really pay attention to that. Leo is a very intuitive sign. Why? Because it's a big cat. Cats are some of the most psychic beings on the planet. And so this is why I say, if you are a Leo, whether you're the loud, gregarious type, whether you're the silent dignity type, as I always say, there is definitely an air or an element of, maybe not necessarily psychic, but there's definitely an element of strategy and precognition. Pay attention to that this week because it's obviously trying to get something across to you. Now, it doesn't have to be, you know, something awful that's happening. It might be a really great opportunity that shapes up for you off the back of the research, the job hunting, the home hunting, whatever it is that you're doing. So, you know, pay attention because it could just as easily be, you know, your intuition saying to you, we need to go this way. This is what's going to get us what we want. This is what we're going, you know, this is what we need. But pay attention to what comes up. For those of you that work for somebody else, your Two of Swords, again, you may get a sense this week that there's an undercurrent in the office. What I'm feeling from this, to be honest with you, I kind of get the feeling that somebody or some of the peers or the some of the uppers, you know, like the PTB, like the supervisors and the managers and all the rest of it, I feel like there's tension in the upper echelons this week, and I kind of feel like that's what you're going to be picking up on. So if you do feel that there's like a bit of an air in the, you know, in the, I say office in loose terms because, you know, at the moment, but if you feel that, it's probably got nothing to do with you actually, but you will need to be aware of it because you're going to need to know how to navigate that so that you don't, you know, inadvertently step on anybody's toes. For those of you that work for yourselves, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, your Two of Swords is, again, that hunch, right? So this could be you aligning with somebody that goes on to be an important part of your business going forward. This could be you maybe getting some sort of insight off the back of a conversation that you have with a client or a potential client. In a lot of ways, something that happens this week in terms of your connections, communications and conversations could very well highlight to you what your next step is going to be. I don't know why, but I just get the sense that there's going to be a eureka moment this week. For those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, you will know when you are called upon, right? And you will know when you want to act and when you don't. This week, I kind of feel like there's going to be a possibly... You may butt heads with somebody this week. If you're retired or no longer working, there may be something that at an outside glance or outside perspective, it's like you're trying to give information or you're trying to assist somebody and they're hearing what they want to hear rather than the facts. You can only lead the horse this week, so just be aware. For your money and materials, you have the 8 of Wands. This is gorgeous. So for those of you that have put the feelers out for new jobs, new work, etc., I love this for you. If you've recently had an intuition to recontact an old place of business, if you have a dream this week about somewhere that you used to work, about someone that you used to work for or with, contact them. I don't know why, but I get this sense that some of the Leos are going to be treading memory lane this year, and maybe not necessarily in a detrimental way. I actually feel like this could be very positive. Just keep that in mind. It's really weird that this is coming up as well, because just yesterday and just last night, actually, I had like this crazy sort of vision type dream thing, and I was like, no, that's not probable. And then I woke up this morning, and when I was scrolling through to look at something, basically what I was, it was there kind of fully formed. So very interesting. Pay attention to what comes up this week, especially if you feel to reconnect with people that you've worked with alongside. If you get phone calls, emails or text messages from people that you've once worked with alongside or even lived with, listen to what comes up, because this might be a pointer in the right direction. Money looks good this week. With the 8 of Wands, there are more prospects than there are landings, if that makes sense. So there's more potential here to make more money, but you're not seeing the increase immediate. This is like putting the feelers out and getting the foundations laid to make that more money. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your lower back, your hips, your buttocks, your thighs, that whole general area. What did I say for the other person that got this area of the body? Your root and sacral chakra areas. So, you know, pay attention to those this week. And then for your home and environment, this could just be a lot of information coming to you this week. But the word of warning that I want to give you this week, this would be a week for you to allow people to come to you. If they need your help, if they need your assistance with anything, you don't go anywhere. Let them come to you. For your love and relations, you have the Ace of Wands. This is gorgeous, especially with the 2 of Swords. So for those of you that are single, maybe chatting to somebody online, maybe there's somebody in the midst, let's say. There's a lot of banter, you two possibly as well, because you've got the 2 of Swords in the communications. Maybe you kind of rub each other the wrong way, or maybe the banter is really hard, but there's a lot of laughter, there's a lot of fun. There's potentially a lot of fireworks here as well, which I absolutely love. Now you've got 2 aces here. So 2 aces can literally represent trickery. That's one way that this could play out. This is, especially because we talked about, you know, pay attention to your intuitive hits. But it could also represent a new birth, or a birth of a new project of some kind. So either which way. For those of you that are in relationships already, this could be a very sensual, very sexual week. This could be the week where you start to understand your partner on a more psychic level as well. And when I say that, I mean, maybe the bond between you strengthens, but in a way that isn't necessarily tangibly measurable. It also suggests as well, for those of you in relationships or partnerships, you need to bring more enjoyment into the relationship, more fun, more laughter, more vibrancy. That's, you know, you'll really benefit from that this week. And your human design oracle card is Revolution. Are you ready to burst into glorious flame and be reborn again? I love this card because what it represents to me is this idea that we can all choose when to be reborn, and more importantly, we can decide what we are reborn as. I've said this to a lot of people over the course of my reading career. The best thing about your life falling apart is that you can put it back together the way that you fucking choose. All right, so whenever those moments come and you think, you know what, I'm at rock bottom, or I'm having to pivot, or I don't realize where I'm going, or, you know, this is all different, I don't know what to do, take a moment to ask yourself, what do you want to do? The universe always takes into consideration that you have a modicum of control over your life. Don't ever give your power away that way, all right? So with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments, my fellow Leo people, how this shapes up for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.